I've been working on this furnace, this wood stove, wood/waste oil stove for, I want to say about a month and a half. I've been trying different experiments, just from Babington nozzles to just drip feed and just a plethora of experiments. And finally I've come to this. This is a combination of coolant, hot water. There's 100 feet of copper pipe in between these two cylinders, these two tanks. And this is also, so it's a waste oil stove, a wood stove, and it's also a rocket stove. So it's all of them combined into one. And I'm hoping this is good enough to heat this 4,500 square feet that I've got in here. Today is a slightly warmer day, and I've got my garage door open, which is nice to let some cool breeze in while I do some welding. And I've also got the fan to blow away the smoke out of my face. And I also do wear my respirator whenever I'm welding, just so I can block whatever fumes I can. So I'm just going to put a weld right here around this thing. I'm just doing some patching up, so I'll start and stop just so I don't keep the weld pool too hot and melt through. Sometimes I hold my breath if I know that fan's going to be blowing in this direction. I hold my breath while I'm doing this swelled right over here, just so I don't get to breathe in. Hammer and beat out the slag. That was good right there. That little stretch. That's a good stretch from over there all around this way. So certainly some areas of improvement. I mean, I've been welding for years, but still not a pro at it. Been doing this since I was 16, on and off. It's over 10 years. But not too bad. I'm also welding on a slightly lower amperage, so that contributes to some of the undercutting and some of the uneven welds. But the reason I'm welding at lower amperage is because I'm also welding metals at different gauge thicknesses. So this is at the collar here is at I want to say, I think it's 14 gauge. Pretty sure it's 14 gauge, and this is about 12 gauge. So this tank is a little bit thicker, but in order not to blow holes in it, I reduce my amperage just good enough so that I cannot blow holes. So this is today's task: get the stove working, put some wood, load up some wood and some waste oil in it, and get this shop to about 70 degrees. Take off this warm suit. And people have been asking, you know, when are you gonna get your tiny house done? And you can see the trailer is still under a bunch of rubble, bunch of wood. I'm hoping to get the floor done. January is the month I set out to complete my floor. I'm hoping that I can actually get that done. So we'll see. I'll definitely be uploading more videos here as I continue with my progress. I know I look like I'm slow with things, but slow but sure. We'll see. I think if I can get this flooring done this month, and then next month I'm working on the walls as well as the some of the electrical. I'm hoping to complete in May if everything goes according to plan, and I gotta blow my nose. But that'll be the... See, I just get one of my old t-shirts, and this is a result of wearing a respirator all the time, and I suppose breathing in with my mouth. I get a lot of mucus that forms, and so I have to keep on blowing. Anyways, this is the project. It is such a mess in here, but believe me, this place is gonna be clean when I can burn all this wood, all this scraps, and then arrange all my toys and my garden tools and my concrete mixer and my, oh my gosh, I have stuff everywhere. We'll see. I should try and get these things done sometime soon. In the next couple of days, I'll get this shop cleaned up, and then I'll proceed to getting the floor done. This is the other space where my brother has his woodworking projects. He's always staying busy doing his thing. And there's a water tank right in the middle right there, and I put it there for thawing purposes, but I wanted it to thaw. I bought it used, and I intended to, hit this shop with hot water. And I've been running those tests and using a radiator right here. By the way, that water tank was garbage. The elements were burned up, and so I ended up making my own little water heater, sorry. I just borrowed this thermostat off of that water heater over there. And this is a propane tank, by the way. So I just took a propane tank. I cut a hole into it and welded a 1-inch coupler. And then I just bolted in the water heating element. And then just hooked it up to 220 volts. I just bypassed, first I used a thermostat, but the thermostat is only set up at total, I think maximum is like 160 degrees Fahrenheit. But I wanted this thing to steam. I wanted to get some incredibly hot water from this. So I bypassed that and just hooked it straight up to the outlet. And you know what happened? That radiator is too efficient. It removes all the heat from that water. So by the time that water comes back into this tank, it doesn't have enough time to heat up. Plus I've got a really powerful pump, and that pump keeps everything circulating so fast that the water, when it's going through this, just picks up a little bit of heat. After this, it would go into my furnace over there. Those copper pipes that I told you are in those 2 propane tanks in my furnace. So it'd go from this water heating propane tank into that copper heating propane tanks over there. And then it would come, so it'd pick up a lot of heat from there, and then it'll come right in here into my radiator. And it was radiating heat as far as 10 feet, but then as far as 8 feet. But if you go further, it gets colder. And so I need some incredible heat. And I think forced convection is a good way to go, but in order to do forced convection, you have to have a ton of BTU. I don't have that much energy.